Hello and welcome back to another video. This one will be thematic reading vlog, which I think it's been a while since I've done one of those, but this is one I've been wanting to do for a while. So in this video we will be reading and talking about the Southern Reach Trilogy by VanderMeer. So the Southern Reach Trilogy follows this Area X, which is a very mysterious area where some weird otherworldly things has been happening, and no one really knows how this area came to be or how it happened, because it just appeared one day and it was there, and there was this border, and if you cross that border, basically everyone that crossed the border, no one came back, or the people that came back sick or with memory problems, or they didn't seem like themselves. They are trying to figure out what is happening. So there are 3 books in this series: Annihilation, Authority, and Acceptance. A few years ago I read Annihilation and I didn't love it, but now that I am in the future, I can see and I can say that it just wasn't the book for me at the time, because at the time I wasn't that much into like the creepy side of sci-fi. Now it is. I'm way more into reading the creepy. The weirder the better for me now. That is one of the reasons why I decided to finish reading the series. Another one is because even though at the time I didn't love the book, my mind always went back to this world and was always curious to know and to read and to see more of Area X. So I've been wanting actually to read this series, the rest of the series, for a while, but I didn't do it for 2 reasons. The first one is that I got this book translated, and when I went back to buy the other 2 copies of the book, they weren't available, the translated version. I went to see the original English version to see if they also weren't selling at the time. I don't really know why. They only had the digital, the Kindle version, and at the time I wasn't into reading Kindle, and also I already have the first copy in the printed version. I wanted to have the other 2 books also printed. They look pretty on my bookshelf. Last year I went to the US, and one of those moments that seemed like it was meant to be. For me, it was that I entered into a bookshop, the first bookshop I entered on the trip, and they have 1 copy of Authority and 1 copy of Acceptance. I'm bringing you with me on this journey of reading the series. So let's talk about each of the books. Annihilation follows a mission that goes inside the Area X, and we explore with them the area, we see what is happening, why they are losing their memories, basically we explore. And I think the world building was incredible, and it was the thing that captivated me about this book so much. In Authority, which is the 2nd book in the series, we follow Control. He is the new director of the Southern Reach branch of the government, or the Southern Reach institution from the government that is studying these Area X, and we can see through his point of view what his impressions are as a person that's coming from the outside, that didn't know much about this area, that is studying Area X, and we can explore that. And I'm already reading this book. I'm on page 100, chapter 7, and so far I've been really enjoying it, and I can say this is a style of book that I will like now. By the way, the original director for the Southern Reach, she was on the expedition from the first book. Then we have the 3rd book in this series. It's called Acceptance, and apparently in this one we will follow another expedition, but this time it would be like the last expedition, because they no longer want to keep sending people to this mysterious area just so they come back and basically die. or never come back at all. According to Goodreads, this one is the least favorite, and so far I've been really liking it, so let's see what I think of the other novels. And by the way, can we talk about these covers? Because they are just like... I love these covers. They are incredible. I think they're really, really pretty. Here we have the plant, here we have the bunny, and I already know why they have the bunny here. And here we have an owl, and I want to understand why you have an owl on the cover. But yeah, the covers are really pretty, especially the American versions, because they have kind of these metallic details that the Brazilian version doesn't have, but it is so pretty. Also, I love paperbacks. Like, they're just so comfy to read. I think they're more comfy to read than this one. I think they're just more comfy, and maybe this is just a bookish or a me thing. I love the smell. This is something a Kindle can give me. The smell of books. Maybe it's bizarre, maybe it's weird, but let's stop the rambling. And I'll come back when I finish one of the books. I'll pick up that phone.
Day 2.
Hello, so let's update you about Authority by VanderMeer. When I started this video, I was on page 100, now I'm on page 270, so I read 170 pages, and this book has 340 pages, so I only have like 70 pages left. So far, I've been really enjoying. I really liked the pace of this book. It had kind of like nothing is happening, but also stuff is happening kind of pace, and I really enjoyed that. Honestly, I didn't realize how much I read of the book until I started to count the pages, or how much I have left until I counted how many pages I have left on this book. I know this is not like the favorite book from the series. On Goodreads, this one was the book with the lowest ratings. I do understand that, because it can be kind of stale and boring for some people, because there's not that much active action. A lot of times it's more passive, but I'm enjoying it. Maybe because I am the type of person that enjoys looking at the backstage of things. It has always been something I enjoyed, so seeing at the backstage of what was happening during the first expedition, during book 1, is something that I'm really enjoying.
Tomorrow.
Hello, and it's been a few days. I finished the first book, Authority, and let's talk about it. So the book, it is divided in, I believe, yes, it's 4 different sections, and each one focuses on a topic, something that is happening. So the first one, which is called Incarnations Incantations, it follows the beginning of Control's, or the new director's journey in the Southern Reach. The second part is called Rights, and it follows the director finding out a bit more and researching and finding some weird stuff in the Southern Reach. Some things will focus on investigating, things that are just plain weird, and he kind of gets weirded out and all that kind of stuff. Then we have the third part, which is Hauntings, which, if I say too much, I will give away so much of the plot, but it's kind of like, if you were reading a romance novel, this would be the third act breakup scene. And at first it was kind of weird, but was really good. And the last part, it is called Afterlife, and Afterlife, it was one of those moments. It was a plot twist that, you know, that plot twist you feel like you should have seen it coming, but you don't. I felt like I should have seen this coming, but I didn't. There were so many hints that this would happen, but still, for me, I was quite surprised when the book ended and when it was closing. And at first, I was thinking, is this a dream from director? But you need to read this book if you want to know. And overall, I understand why this would be the least favorite book from the series for most people. For me, I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars on Goodreads because, it's not like a 5 stars. There is nothing, wow, this changed my life. At least for now. Maybe in the future I'll continue thinking about this book, but like, there's nothing overall right now. There's nothing, wow, it changed my life, but still, it was such a good read. I think it was a great bridge between the first book and the last one. It touched on some things they said on the first book that I remember they saying the first book, which was interesting because I was thinking, is this thing the characters from the first book really real? We will see this in this book, and we do see it. We figure out, the director figures out the same thing the characters that were in the expedition from the first book figured out, and that was really nice. Now, let's go to the third book in the series, the last one, Acceptance. Also pretty cover. I really like this cover. I think this one might be one of my favorites because it is pink. But I started reading already. I'm on page 24, chapter 2, and this one is also separated in a few parts. And the book already, it started really well because we started the book with the OG director, the one that got lost in the first expedition. Not the first expedition, but got lost in the first book, and the one that the guy in this book was taking the place or taking over. So the book starts with her point of view of what is happening. It's also quite interesting because the first scene on this book, it happens in the first book, but in the first book, Annihilation, we have it from the point of view of the biologist, and here we have it from the point of view from the director, which at the time, at the first book, we don't know she's the director, we don't know she knows many secrets, and here we see it from her point of view. And then I'm already in the second chapter, and the second chapter is also, it's so good because we have it from the point of view from the lighthouse keeper, who is an important and kind of mysterious character, both in the first and the second book. Especially in the second book, he's kind of mysterious. You don't really know much about him except that he took care of the lighthouse, which is this very important landmark at Area X, and where a lot of things happen, a lot of weird stuff happens in this lighthouse. So we get his point of view, and I'm just so excited to continue reading and see what will happen next, because especially after the end of the second book, and in this one, it feels like we are getting answers.
Eventually.
Hello, so I finished reading Acceptance by VanderMeer, and I gave it 4.5 stars. So basically, I think this is kind of a perfect ending for this novel, for this series, even though I kind of wanted more, because I just love this world, and I would love a very decisive ending and explanation about what's happening. But I I accept this book, and yeah, I gave it 4.5 stars, and I really liked it. The only reason I didn't give this book 5 stars is because there were some moments I thought it was, it's not, boring is not the word, but I think it could be more dynamic, or the pace could be a bit faster. But overall, I just I just love it. I love this world. I love the way it is constructed. And if you like weird, if you like sci-fi, this is an amazing series, and you should check it out because it's just really good. It is really well written. The world construction, it's what made me fall in love. I love the world construction. I enjoyed the characters, and yeah. If you want to know, my favorite character is Saul. So let's, yeah, that's it. That's it for this video of reading the Southern Reach trilogy. I I liked it. I'm glad I read it. So if you like this video, give a like, subscribe, and I will see you soon. Bye.